Today you'll find out why you probably wouldn't last a single day in medieval Europe. Forget shiny castles and noble knights. The truth is, your bed would be a nest of fleas, your bathroom a stinking bucket, and breakfast? A gray soup even the rats wouldn't touch. Welcome to a world where making it to sunset was already a miracle. But before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed. And drop a comment. Where are you watching from, and what time is it right now? I love seeing how far this little time-traveling community reaches. You open your eyes, congratulations, you've just woken up in the year 1325. The good news? You're still alive. The bad news? So are the fleas. Your bed isn't really a bed. It's a pile of old straw, half-rotten, recycled straight from the village barn. It smells like damp hay, dust, and something you'd rather not identify. The straw is alive with tiny insects that bite without mercy. Forget memory foam mattresses or fancy pillow tops. What you get here is a sack of straw that creaks like rotten wood every time you move. And the blanket? A heavy piece of wool, soaked with months of grime. It hasn't seen water since last winter. It weighs almost as much as a small goat, only it smells worse. Before you even think about rolling over, the church bell explodes outside. That's your medieval alarm clock, loud, metallic, and impossible to snooze. You look around. Your home is a one-room wooden hut. No windows, no privacy. Your entire family, a few chickens, and probably a rat all share the same space. The air is thick, a mix of sweat, smoke, and manure. Scented candles? Forget it. The fragrance of your bedroom is a daily reminder that hygiene hasn't been invented yet. You try to stand up, but you're 22 years old and already feel like 70. Your joints creak like a rusty door hinge, and the cold dirt floor clings to your bare feet. Damp from rain dripping through the thatched roof, or maybe from something the chicken left behind. And that's when it hits you. This is only the start of your day, and the worst is still to come. Now that you've crawled out of your flea mattress, your body gives the first warning. You need a bathroom. Bad news. In the 14th century, there is no such thing. If you're a peasant, your option is a wooden bucket behind the house. It's already almost full, because last night someone ate too many bad turnips. The stench rising from it is so strong, it could make modern air fresheners quit their job on the spot. No flush, no toilet paper, just straw, leaves, or filthy rags. If you're lucky, you might find a piece of rough wool. If not, you improvise. And when the bucket fills up, simple. The contents get tossed straight into the street. You're supposed to yell something like, "Look out below," before dumping it. But let's be honest, nobody moves fast enough. The result? Medieval streets become open-air rivers where human waste, animal manure, and scraps of food swirl together in a cocktail of odors no brand of Lysol would dare advertise. Live in a bigger town? Sure, there are public latrines. Sounds better, right? Not exactly. Picture sitting shoulder to shoulder with strangers. No walls, no privacy, everyone using the same pit. The conversation might flow, but so does the smell. And castles? Not much better. Nobles had a hole in the wall called a garderobe, where waste dropped straight into the moat. Great idea, until enemies used it as a very awkward entrance. Medieval bathrooms aren't relief. They're punishment. Cold, dirty, humiliating. And once you're done, your hands are the same ones you'll use to eat in a few minutes. Soap hasn't been invented yet. You survived this part. But don't celebrate, because next comes breakfast, and it might be worse. You've finished your sad soup, wiped your mouth with your sleeve, because napkins are for kings. And now it's time to get dressed. The problem? Your entire wardrobe could fit on a single imaginary hanger. You own one rough wool tunic, or, if you're lucky, one made of linen. It's not new. It hasn't been washed in months. It carries the permanent perfume of smoke, sweat, and goat. Underwear? Forget it. That's a modern luxury. Here, you either go free under your itchy wool, or if you're extra fortunate, you get a thin scrap of cloth that scratches almost as badly as nothing at all. Shoes? Maybe. If you're one of the lucky few, they're raw leather, poorly stitched, with no real sole. Basically, the medieval version of strapping 2 coconut shells to your feet. Most people? They simply walk barefoot through mud, wet straw, and other things you'd rather not step in. And then comes the most charming detail. Your roommates. Fleas, lice, bedbugs. They live with you all day, all night. Doesn't matter if you're a peasant, a merchant, even a noble. Parasites are truly equal opportunity tenants. They itch your skin by day, bite by night, and they never pay rent. Your scalp becomes a party for lice. Your skin, a battlefield of welts and rashes. And when you think about complaining, remember, everyone around you is scratching too, so nobody cares. You pull the tunic over your head, tie it with a frayed rope, and take a deep breath. You're uncomfortable, filthy, and itching from head to toe. But there's no time to complain, because now it's time to face the work that keeps you alive. The sun is barely up, but your day has already begun, and it won't end until it goes down again. No coffee breaks, no weekends. Just surviving by working yourself to exhaustion. If you're like 90% of people, your job is simple. Farmer. That means you wake up to work land that isn't even yours. You dig trenches with a wooden hoe, pull weeds out with your bare hands, and haul buckets of water so heavy your back bends like a creaky door about to snap. And there's no choice. If you don't work, you don't eat. And if you don't eat, you don't live. If you're a woman, the load doubles. After the fields, there are children to raise, food to cook, animals to feed, and wool to spin. All of it while scratching at lice, shivering in the cold, and dealing with a husband who's probably just as hungry and irritable as you are. And the kids? Forget school, toys, or Saturday morning cartoons? By age 5, they're handed a little wooden rake and sent to the fields with you. They learn fast. Childhood here isn't for playing. It's for working until your fingers ache. Think a different trade might be better? Not really. A blacksmith spends all day in a suffocating forge, choking on smoke while swinging red-hot iron. A tanner spends hours with animal hides and chemicals so foul the stench sticks to his skin for days. No matter what you do, the pay is the same. Just enough to survive another day. Your body aches. Your hands bleed. And the worst part is knowing tomorrow will be exactly the same. But before the sun sets, there's something else that rules every corner of your life. Religion and the fears that come with it. As the sun climbs higher, a sound echoes across the villages and towns. The church bell. It doesn't mark time the way a modern clock does. It's a reminder that your life doesn't belong to you. It belongs to God, or rather, to the church that speaks in His name. You bow, you pray, you obey. Miss a prayer? That's a sin. Eat meat on the wrong day? Sin. Even thinking the wrong thought? sin, and the weight of those sins is crushing. Priests describe hell in such vivid detail, you can almost smell the sulfur just by listening. Eternal fire, grotesque creatures, screams without end. If disease doesn't terrify you, eternal damnation will. You don't own a Bible. It's written in Latin, and only monks and priests can read it. So the priest interprets for you. If the harvest fails, it's because you didn't pray enough. If plague hits the next town, it's because someone sinned. And of course, there's the tithe. 10% of everything you own. If it's grain, you give grain. If it's eggs, you give eggs. And if you have nothing, too bad. You still owe something. Religious festivals? They're not parties. They're days of fasting, penance, and endless sermons. Laugh too much, and it's disrespectful. Ask questions, and it's heresy. And heresy isn't just a mistake. It's a sentence of pain. Everyone knows it. That's why they stay silent. You look up, hoping for protection. But what you feel instead is fear. Fear of sinning. Fear of being accused. Fear of losing your salvation. And that fear is constant, because it's not enough to survive hunger, cold, and work. You also have to survive the invisible rules that control every detail of your life. But don't think it's over yet. There's still something else that hangs like a shadow over the Middle Ages. The harsh punishments of daily life. By now, you've realized the Middle Ages don't forgive. But brace yourself. Every broken rule comes with a price. Steal a piece of bread? Your hand might be branded, or worse, cut off. Talk too much? There's an iron mask to clamp your mouth shut, leaving you unable to smile or even breathe properly for days. Caught lying? Your tongue could be pierced in the town square for everyone to see. There are no modern courts, no lawyers. Justice here is a spectacle. The crowd gathers to watch, like a dark play. But this stage never ends with a happy scene. And then there are the so-called tests of purity. Reach into boiling water to grab a stone. If the wound heals quickly, you're innocent. If it festers, you already know the outcome. Another trial? Being thrown into a river. If you sink, you're innocent. If you float, you're guilty. Either way, almost nobody walks away alive. And when someone is condemned, it's no secret. The punishment happens in the public square, in full view of everyone. Some even bring their children to watch, calling it a lesson in morality. Fear is what keeps order. You glance around and realize, here, there is no room for mistakes. Even the smallest slip can cost you not just your dignity, but your life. And if you already feel exhausted, prepare yourself, because a medieval body doesn't last long, and youth here is painfully short. You're only in your 20s. But here, that already counts as middle-aged. Your back creaks like an old door. Your knees grind like stones dragged across the ground. Every morning is a battle against aches that never leave. Few people live past 40, and those who do are called ancient, as if they're walking miracles. Half of all children never make it past the age of 5. Fevers, hunger, untreated wounds. The smallest problem can become a death sentence. There are no vaccines, no reliable medicine. Only prayers, herbs, and hope. For women, the burden is even heavier. Childbirth is a gamble between life and death. No trained doctors, no anesthesia, no guarantees. Every birth could be the last. And if old age ever arrives, if it arrives, it doesn't bring rest. There's no retirement, no golden years. You work until your body simply gives out. And the end? It comes quickly, almost always quietly, and rarely remembered. A rushed burial, a shallow grave, a handful of dirt, no carved stone, no fresh flowers, just silence. Here, the future is never guaranteed. You don't plan trips, dreams, or careers. You simply fight to see the next sunrise. And now, as your day in the Middle Ages comes to an end, one question remains. Would you have lasted this long? Now, return to the present. Look around. You have clean water flowing from a faucet, a soft bed waiting for you, electric light that drives away the darkness, fresh food in the kitchen, and doctors who heal in minutes what once took lives. In the Middle Ages, surviving a single day was already a victory. Today, you can live for decades, dream, laugh without fear, and even listen to stories like this one as you drift off to sleep. So take a deep breath, feel the calm of the modern world, and give silent thanks for being here, now. Because if you had been born back then, in medieval Europe, the truth is, you wouldn't have lasted even a single day. Good night.